Guys, I want to try something new with you in this video. For the first 5 minutes, I challenge you not to pick up your phone or scroll, and to listen to me without speeding up the video or doubling its speed. And definitely without reading the comments below this video. Because simply put, if you can do something like this, you are clearly suffering from a problem. I personally suffer from it and still do. And that's why I decided to make this video. The problem is brain rot. So if you or someone you love has been diagnosed with brain rot, this video is for you. So let's get started. Brain rot is a chronic condition that affects millions of people around the world. It was adopted as a term in the Oxford Dictionary in 2024, and it was chosen as the word of the year, after previously being in 2007 a sarcastic definition for a person who spends long hours in front of the television or doing trivial things. This term gained international prominence in 2024 after parents and teachers in school noticed that exposure to screens, whether from phones, iPad, or other devices, was depleting the mental capacities of their children. And as we all know, this generation Alpha, is the generation of phones and iPads. And they have forced to interact with touch screens before they could even walk, which has caused them difficulties in focus and lack of attention and weakened memory. The reason for this is that in each of our brains there is something called the frontal lobe, and its job is called sustained attention. But the surprise is that when a child is born, the frontal lobe is not fully developed, but it develops gradually. And exposure to screens disrupts its development, which explains the emergence of diseases that have become almost universal among children, such as attention deficit, lack of focus, and memory problems. For this reason, the World Health Organization strongly emphasizes that children should not be exposed to screens before the age of 14 until their front lobe has fully developed. But what is worrying is that Generation Alpha and Generation Z are refusing to make any effort to get stable doses of dopamine. For example, through reading, exercising, walking, or even meditating. And they are replacing it with digital dopamine that they get by watching short aimless content like Reels, short videos, TikTok. And we always hear them say sentences like, why should we feel bored when social media algorithms promise us something fun now? Or why should we have to think to solve a problem when there is AI to do critical thinking for me? Or why store any knowledge when everything is available at the click of the button? This is essentially what causes our brains to malfunction. In my opinion, when there are things available in our environment that offer short-term rewards but come at a long-term cost, like children spending 7 hours a day on social media moving between reels, which gives them small doses of trivial dopamine and quick rewards. There is no doubt that children and young people will be inclined to choose them. This makes their mentality very similar to that of a monkey, that when we see it jumping from tree to tree seems to move with no goal other than enjoyment, and we ask it at the end of the day what it has accomplished. The answer is nothing. This applies strongly to those individuals who spend long hours watching hundreds of reels that have no connection to each other on TikTok, Instagram, and Snapchat, with zero productivity by the end of the day and a scattered brain. I won't make this video any longer than this, and I will tell you about the things I've tried that work for me. First, you need to know how long you can concentrate. The solution is very simple. Try to choose a task and work on it, like reading a book. When you start reading the book, set a timer next to you and try to see how long you can stay focused. And once you feel that your mind starts drifting, from reading or you get distracted, stop the timer and write down that number, as it represents your average attention span. For example, if you have trained your mind to watch reels that are 10 seconds long every day, don't expect it to read a 700-page book immediately. So start reading gradually for short periods. For example, read for 5 minutes, then 10, then 15, and then 20. Over time, you will be able to build mental endurance, as your mind will become capable of handling difficult tasks without feeling bored or the desire to check your phone. What I mean is that you should create physical distance between you and your phone. For example, if you're not using your phone as a calculator or a timer, keep it away while doing your school tasks. Because if your phone is always on your desk, you will end up picking it up. But if you have keep it with you to use as calculator, it's best install a program to block websites that make it difficult to access content that may distract you and prevent you from concentrating. What I mean here is not to completely abandon technology and rely solely on your minds, but to depend more on your real intelligence instead of artificial intelligence. Because people who don't use their brains to perform even the simplest calculations and rely on their phones will have weaker minds, and weaker brains are limited in their choices. However, the moment you use your brain's power to calculate something is the moment you strengthen your mental pathways and embrace these mental challenges. Okay guys, if you liked my video, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and like this video and comment below this video. Thank you for watching.